The parable is about Jesus. There's something interesting. Sinners wanted to listen to Jesus. Jesus values relationships more than reputation. Because Jesus had nothing to prove, he placed no value in reputation. Jesus could care less what the religious people thought about him.
That's right.
Jesus is willing to risk all that he has for the one that he doesn't have. Jesus is intentional. He didn't pray for the lost sheep to come home. He went and got him. You hear people pray, Lord, send us the harvest. The Lord will not send you the harvest. Go get it. What the Lord told us to pray for is to pray for harvesters that'll go get it. But eventually, one of us, some of us, hopefully all of us, are going to wake up one day and assume responsibility for the world we live in and go out and do something about it.
Come on, that's true.
Instead of saying it's getting just so bad, this is a sign of the end. That's so lame. People who are saying that, it's a sign of the end of their ministry. Because they lost the fight to do something about it. The end is near. No, your end is near. 2.9 billion people have never heard the gospel. That's staggering. That's a bizarre number. Anyway, the Good Shepherd. Love is willing to take risks. I think sometimes when we read challenging things that Jesus says, we need to let it soak in a little bit because it is uncomfortable and sometimes it stings a little bit. But it's like when Jesus says something, he's giving us an opportunity to grow, to feel his heart, to see how he sees, and then respond to him accordingly. Because if we respond to him, when we respond to him, that's when things begin to change. Whatever God is asking you for, it may not have anything to do with Rescue Church, West New York. It doesn't matter. Whatever God is asking you to do, do it. Just do it. Like Nike says, literally just do it, because when you do it, you're positioning yourself to get the results that he's promised. And a lot of times we think God is withholding stuff from us. God is not withholding stuff from us. He has better things to do than withhold stuff from us. We think about God in a way as if he's a sick old man in heaven, like who's like really demented. Like he's like holding a little blessing over us, like, and then he pulls it back like he's a sick person. Like he's not like that. He's good. It's usually our inability to position ourselves correctly.
That's right.
You know? All right. Now, let's go to the second parable here. Now, I want you to remember, first parable is about Jesus. Second parable. What woman? Now, remember, there were sinners involved. And wherever there's sinners and tax collectors, guess what there is? Women. Because you know what sinners like? What do tax collectors like? Okay. So now he's going to pull them in. Watch. Or what woman, having 10 pieces of silver coins, if she loses one coin, does not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And when she has found it, she calls her friends and neighbors together, saying, Rejoice with me, for I have found the piece which I lost. Likewise, I say to you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Now, some people think the woman represents the Holy Spirit. No, the Holy Spirit doesn't lose coins. The woman is not the Holy Spirit. The woman is the church. Have we lost things? I lost a nice pair of headphones. I think they were stolen in the gym, but I was not happy about it. We lose things. Valuable things. Things that matter. The light is speaking of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the one who brings illumination. He brings revelation, and what is hidden becomes visible. That's his ministry. His ministry is the ministry of revelation. He opens our eyes to see things that we cannot see without him. Following me? Now, you're saying, what is it? What is the significance of this coin? There's two trends of thought on this. I'm going to give you both of them, but I'll tell you the one that I believe. The one I believe is that in the Middle Eastern times, Carmela will tell you this, but women who get married usually have 10 coins across their forehead. During the Bible times, a woman who was a virgin, who was a virgin, would have 10 coins across her forehead. In Palestine, they had this little headdress. Have you seen this thing? Is this true?
Yeah, they still do it.
Okay. So, if the woman was a virgin, she had 10 coins. And it was an omen that she would be a good wife. You following me? If she was missing a coin, it meant she was not a virgin, and what that culture believes is she would not be a good wife. So they did not believe in redemption, the gospel, and all that stuff. They believe you are what you do. You following me? I know this is uncomfortable. So what this could mean is purity was lost and then restored. That's one of the principles that you can take from this. I'm not trying to make a doctrine, I'm just saying it's one of the principles that can be taken, is that a purity that has been lost can be restored.
Okay.
The other point is that you can be in the house of God and be lost. Where did they lose Jesus? In the temple when he was a kid. So you could go to the house of God and miss God. You could go to the house of God with God and leave without him. A church is a wild place. You could lose your religion in church. If you come to the church looking for problems, you're going to find problems. If you come to the church and you want to cheat on your wife, there's some sleazy broad that will cheat on you. I'm sorry to say it this way. If you want to lose your husband in church, you can lose your husband in church. If you want to find someone who has a drug addiction, there's definitely an old white guy that likes to snort cocaine. I'm just telling you, in church, not everyone's perfect. We have problems. Are you following me? That's why we're here. Every one of us, me included, we have problems. Right? So we come to Jesus because we acknowledge that we need help. Are you following me? So, here, the ministry of the Holy Spirit is to restore that which was lost. And there is joy over a sinner that repents. So it's interesting how a coin represents a sinner. What does God value? Sinners. Hello? You following me? What did he pay for? The redemption of what? Holy people? He said that I came for the just? No, he didn't say that. He said I came for the sick. I came for the sinners, right? So what does he value? He values sinners. Because he values sinners, when a sinner repents, he gets happy. Are you following me? So that means what we do on earth affects the atmosphere in heaven. Did you know that? We are so conscious of heaven affecting us, but Jesus was actually teaching here. Do you know that you affect heaven? All right. Parable number 2 is about the ministry of the Holy Spirit to restore that which was lost. Whether it's a person or whether it's purity, I'm not jamming either opinion down your throat, because all it is an opinion. All I'm saying is, whether it's purity, whether it's a person, the ministry of the Holy Spirit shines the light of revelation into our life, into our house, into our circumstances, to show us what we could not see without him, so that we could restore what was lost.
Come on. That's right.
Period. And things have been stolen from us. Because who do we have? We have an adversary. What does he want to do? Steal, kill, and destroy.
That's right.
Now, parable number 3. Now this is a longer parable, And we're supposed to be ending now, but we started 25 minutes late. So if you're done before I am, you can leave. We're not mad at you. We love you. And hopefully we'll see you again. If not, that's cool too, but we love you and we're thinking about you. Now, in my humble opinion, Jesus is building the story. Actually, an opinion isn't humble. That's a stupid word. That's a religious word. In my opinion, Jesus is building his story. So he talks about himself, the Good Shepherd. He talks about the ministry of the Holy Spirit who shines light in darkness to restore what was lost. But he's building, and the reason I know he's building is because if you see the parable about him, it's, 5-6 verses, let's say. The ministry of the Holy Spirit is quick. It's just 2 verses. Boom. It's quick. Holy Spirit shows you something. Boom. Right there. It's not drawn out. That's why long drawn out prophecies are not usually the Holy Spirit. They're our soul responding to the supernatural. So we just go on and on and on. But the Holy Spirit is just like, boom. That's it. Direct. Right? So the ministry of the Holy Spirit is a quick, is a direct, it's a God-breathed word. It's light in darkness. It's just a restoration of something that has been stolen, something that has been lost, right? But now, Jesus takes a whole lot of time to tell a story about the Father. And this is really important because we find ourselves in this story. Yes, we were a lost sheep who we went astray. Jesus went after us. Yes, we've lost our religion in church. We've lost our purity. We've surrendered to the devil. We've done things that have pleased or gratified the flesh, and the Holy Spirit is so good. He shines his light in our darkness to restore what we lost or what we've surrendered. Now, there's 2 sons. One son, and this is classic church. One son is older, one son is younger. The older son, and this is scary, he's lived in the father's house his whole entire life, but he doesn't have his father's heart. Everything that the Father has was his. He never knew it. He had double the inheritance of his younger brother. He didn't know it. Religion is a filthy inoculator, and it blinds us to what Jesus has already provided for us. And we're asking God many times for less than what he's already given us. This is a sobering parable, and I want to be clear that, again, this is not about 2 stupid sons. This is about a good father. There is things in the nature and the character of God that are revealed in this parable that should help us to see not only the Father for who he is, but allow us to have his heart so that when we live in his home, we handle people how he would handle people. The only thing that scares me about a church is that now I must handle people as God handles people. That's serious business. That's not a joke. Handling the Word doesn't have feelings, the Word doesn't have emotions. It's red and black, period. People are not red and black. You know what people are made of? Water, blood, and feelings. Water, blood, and emotions. Water, blood, and pain. Water, blood, and disappointment. Water, blood, and anger. Water, blood, and rejection. Water, blood, and hopelessness. Right? We have all these feelings, these emotions. And so now we have got to now handle people with God's value system. And he's going to hold us accountable for how we handle people. So I just want to let you know, this is a serious thing, and we are aware of the seriousness that relates to, pastoring people, loving people, caring for people, and being involved in people's lives. This is serious, just so you know. We realize that this is not a game. Thought I should share that with you. Verse 11. Then he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of my goods that falls to me. So he divided them his livelihood. Did you see that he divided it to them? And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together, journeyed to a far country, and there wasted his possessions with prodigal living. But when he had spent all, there arose a severe famine in that land, and he began to be in need. Then he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed pigs or swine. And he would gladly have filled his stomach with the pods that the swine ate. And no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have bread enough to eat and to spare, and I will perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was still a great way off, his father saw him and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight, and am no longer worthy to be called your son. Verse 22. And the father said to his servants, bring out the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet, and bring the fatted calf here to kill it. Let us eat and be merry, for this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. Now his older son was in the field, and as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And they said to him, your brother has come, and because he has received him safe and sound, your father has killed the fatted calf. But he was angry and would not go in. Therefore his father came out and pleaded with him. So he answered and said to his father, Lo, these many years I have been serving you. I never transgressed your commandment at any time, and you never gave me a young goat, that I make merry with my friends. But as soon as this son of yours came, who has devoured your livelihood with harlots, you killed the fatted calf for him? And he said, Son, you are always with me, and all that I